Right, so today is gonna kind of be a double video. Not today. This video is gonna be kind of a double video. It is going to go over the neck and the head. Now, when we talk about the neck, we kind of have to accept that the neck is also part of your shoulders or your trapezius. Now, we have the neck coming in right here. The trapezius is right here, okay? It's that triangle shape that connects your neck and your back and your shoulder. Very, very important muscle. So it's kind of hard to talk about the neck without talking about that. When we look at the shape of the neck, you usually think of just two straight lines, but when we look at the muscles, it actually creates a V right here, all right? These neck muscles help us turn our heads, lean it side to side, things like that. And you do want to show that V quite a bit when you're drawing. On top of that, we have this space right here, this upside down triangle. That's going to be where our, what's it called, esophagus? I'm not quite sure. But an area right here for our throat. And then on top of that, if we're looking at the rear view, our neck goes right into the trapezius, okay? So let's find some good poses that would help show how to draw necks and things like that. Okay, that's not too bad. So I might do a quick drawing for a straight front portrait view. Drawing the head, let's start off with a bean really quick. Maybe not even a bean, just a quick body. Okay. All right, so I got a quick body. I always draw a circle a decent length above the torso. I tend to have a long neck, but you don't want to have your torso and put the circle right here, okay? Unless you're implying that they're kind of hunched over, all right? Which is possible, but if someone's standing up straight, okay, they are going to have their head above their body. Now, if you saw what I did here for the jaw, I kind of drew a line to kind of measure out how much space I'd need. I usually do about maybe half a circle's diameter, maybe 3/4. I draw a line for the chin. I kind of draw two curved lines for the jaw. Nice and simple. Now, there are a couple ways to draw necks. You could always just do two straight lines. Just make sure you add in that trapezius, okay? When you're drawing your necks, you don't want your neck to go right into the body like that and then have your shoulders like this. Okay, you need that trapezius to help make it look a little bit normal. And then to show those muscles that we had, I just do a V right there. Okay, and that neck looks pretty normal. Now this little dip right here, okay, if we look, this little dip goes right into the collarbone, okay? Now we talked a little bit about the collarbone in class and how the collarbone connects right to the shoulder, okay? So that's another landmark. I like to draw the collarbones right underneath there. That's another landmark for us to use in our anatomy, okay? So I have the little V, got that. There, we kind of have a general idea of what it looks like. Now, drawing 3/4 heads with the neck. Got my bean. Quickly drawing his chest. So, this is what I got right here for this guy. You want to start off with the circle. Now I'm looking, okay, his chin slightly covers the trapezius. So I'm going to draw in my head a little bit lower than what I usually do because he is kind of slouched and hunched over. I draw my circle. Since this face was facing straight at me, this guy's face is actually facing the other way. So I'm going to draw in the chin. And I like to draw kind of like a triangle for 3/4 faces. I'm going to draw in a line. This line helps me distinguish where the face is looking towards. Excuse me. So here I have it. Now, just because my face is looking to the right doesn't mean that V that I have is going to be facing the right. That V is actually going to be facing wherever the chest is facing. Okay? So wherever the chest is facing, the V is going to be facing. But there's still going to be some alterations with it. So I'm going to draw in that shape that we saw, that muscle. Now the reason why I bring that up so high, because if we look back here, although this muscle disappears underneath the jaw, it does go up all the way behind the ear when you're looking at it from a side view. So you want to show that as well. Now that I have basic shape of my neck, I can kind of draw in some collarbones real quick, and then I could draw in the trapezius, which is, of course, that shoulder muscle right there. So here I have my neck connected to my bean. I'm going to do one more. Let me check the time. What are we running at? Oh, 7 minutes. We got plenty of time to do a couple more. Why not? Ooh, that's interesting, but I don't know how helpful that'll be. You don't really see the neck there. I kind of want to do a rear view, but you don't really see a lot of rear view. All right, that one's pretty interesting. One that you can't really see the neck because it's covered up by clothing. I like to do those. It's good practice. So I'm going to quickly draw in her bean. We got the pelvis right here, her chest, her rib cage is kind of over to the left. I can always alter it a little bit more. Okay. I'm just relatively quick at this point. All right, so I got my general torso. I'm looking at her head. All right, so not only is it from a bottom view, it's also a little bit tilted. So you always want to make sure that you're drawing heads at the right angles and not just completely straight. So I'm going to kind of draw a line to help me distinguish where her head is turning. I'm going to draw in my head. So here I have it. I got a tilted head here, just like her. Now, one thing about this, it's tricky because you can see the bottom of her jaw. So when you do that, I think I should have been a little bit more careful in drawing this face. How do I show that? There's going to be this shape underneath it, and that's underneath the jaw. That's the kind of shape that you're going to have to pull off. For her, I didn't really draw it 100% correctly. I'm going to try to salvage it from what I can. All right, that's not too bad. So I'm thinking, where's that V going to be? I'm looking at her chest. Her chest is right here. So that means that V is actually going to be right here. I'm going to draw in that little shape that we see, that U. Now if I'm thinking, this is going to disappear behind her head. It's a little bit more slanted. And this is actually going to come up all the way here, and this is going to meet it like that. I might have drawn her neck a little bit thicker than it should have been. As always, you are more than welcome to adjust your proportions in the gesture. So I made it a little bit skinnier to kind of represent that. The way she is kind of posed is a little weird. Her shoulders are really prominent. And her trapezius isn't really seen because it's a rear view. So I'm actually going to use those types of shapes because it's a lot more curved right there. And it's a little bit flatter on this side. Okay, so you always want to make sure you're looking at how you're drawing things. Okay, that's kind of the pose her arms are doing. She's holding a gun. All right, that looks pretty accurate as to what she's doing. That was a good one. Make it a little bit clearer. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Now, the reason why I don't really go into faces too much in all these videos is because we are going to be working on faces in this upcoming week. Maybe I'll do some face videos for people to kind of see. I wish there was a behind view for these figures. I'm surprised there's not. Maybe I'll just do one. So how do I draw a figure from behind? All right, this one's going to be kind of simple. Kind of have our back here, lower back. Now we got our hips. Okay, so I'm going to draw in my head. If you guys want to see the bean, this is kind of what's happening here. And draw my head. Shouldn't do that many circles either. It's kind of unclear. Now, since it's a rear view, I can't really see my jaw. So you don't really need to draw the jaw. I mean, you can kind of draw this, but other than that, there's not really much you can do because you can't see it. So the neck, as we talked about, if my ears are here, it's going to come right here, right behind the ears, okay? And then it's going to connect right into the trapezius. And it's really that simple. You can draw a little line for the neck there. If you need to add a little bit more for the jaw like that, you can. But that's really it, drawing it from behind. Here we got a nice example, actually. It's not too bad of a picture. I'm going to do it quick because my phone's about to die for this. Let's see if I can do it fast. Her head is looking like that. To the side, it's a nice profile. I might have drawn the body a little too high. So this is what happens when you don't put your head up high enough. You can see the neck come in like this. That muscle that we talk about, since we can't see the V, since the V's out of view, the front of the chest, I'm going to draw it coming up like that. And then it's going to come in right here to the back of the head. So that's an awkward angle, but that gets the general idea across for the neck like that. Goes right into the trapezius. Okay. I think that's really it. That's about it in terms of head and neck stuff. Let me turn off my phone and charge it. So a couple things to remember. Start off the heads with a circle, drawing a little line for the jaw. And depending on the person, that's how you draw on the jaw. For the neck, you can kind of draw a line. I like to draw a little U to mark that pit right in our neck. I like to go like that for it. I draw really muscular figures. Don't know why. All right. Next video might be about hands or feet. We will see. That's it for this one.